everyone, this is Sally with the Polka Dot Life. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. Well, February 28th will soon be upon us. And not only does that mean that celebration is ending, but that means that that best deal in the catalog is ending too. Of course, that best deal is our joining special. Our starter kit is always a great value at $99. But right now you get to pick $125 in product for just $99 in tax. And in addition to that, you get 2 stamp sets that you get to pick out. Our kits are not prepackaged. They are not something that the company says, this is what I think you need. You get to choose what you think you need. Now, I'm often asked, what should I put in my starter kit? I've put together a kit based on today, that is February 15th, 2022, and that reflects the current availability of product. There are some companies that don't want you to come in and just buy a kit. They are hardcore, full-on pressure of, you need to start a business and we're going to tell you what you're going to do. Stampin' Up is not that company. We not only don't believe in that, but we will open the door for you and say, welcome to the family, come on in. We are so happy that you're here. So let's flip the camera down and I will show you what I have kind of come together with. It's not anything hard and fast. You will see that the categories kind of would remain the same, but you could sub in and out based on your preference. Let's take a look now. I want to tell you, you will get a pack of business supplies and you will also get a past paper pumpkin kit as part of your starter kit. The first thing that I would put in a starter kit is our paper trimmer. You have to be able to cut your paper, whether it be designer series paper or cardstock. You have to be able to cut it and score it, usually, to make a card. And that's the goal of a starter kit, is to make cards. When I first started making cards, I had a stamp set here, or I went to the local store and got some paper, but then a ribbon didn't match an ink and I couldn't find anything else to go with it. And I got very frustrated, and that's why I fell in love with Stampin' Up. So that is part of my process, but you have to be able to cut and or score your cardstock. And this is just one of the best things that you will have in your craft room. You will do all kinds of things with it. So I'm going to slide that over. You also, if you're going to cut your cardstock, you have to be able to put it back together. And I like liquid adhesive, but you could sub out your favorite adhesive. There might be a few dollars difference here or there. The starter kit, they will cap you at $125 max. And then any remaining items you will have to put on a different order. But I use this liquid glue. It is good for the difficult things. It is the strongest adhesive. And so that is what I would suggest for your starter kit. That's not to say you can't add other adhesives later on, because it's always the right tool for the right job. That one is just multi-purpose liquid glue, and it does work for multi-purpose projects. The next thing I would add are stamping blocks. These acrylic blocks, you have to have something to mount your stamps to. And we have all different sizes of our acrylic blocks. They go from teeny tiny to very large, even a little larger than this. But these are the 2 largest ones that I use most of the time. And the reason I chose these is you can carefully use a larger block to stamp a smaller image, but it doesn't work in reverse. So that is why I did that. Sometimes you need a skinny, narrower rectangle, and other times you need a larger, more condensed rectangle. And that's why I've chosen these 2. This is the E block, and this one is the F block. Yes. And so those are what I have chosen. I'm going to stack those right up here. These next few items are just basics. Let's start off with our thick basic white or if you prefer very vanilla, choose the thick. These are going to be for your card base. Then we are going to stack on the basic white cardstock or the very vanilla cardstock, the regular weight. This is best for stamping. These other ones are great for if you use Stampin' Blends or, like I say, for your card bases. And then you need to mail that card, and so you need some basic white envelopes. The next thing I want you to do is pick your favorite color family, with the exclusion of the neutrals. Those are great colors, but that's not what I'm talking about here. We want you to be successful in your starter kit so that when it arrives, you can actually make a card. Pick colors that work together, and they work together well. So I would suggest picking your favorite color family. I happen to love the brights. The first thing I would do is tell you whatever your color family is, pick the classic Stampin' Pad in the green, in your color family. Green makes the world go round. It makes everything play together nicely. And I personally love florals. And so if you are that person, you definitely need a green for your leaves. Next, I chose Melon Mambo. And then I've chosen Daffodil Delight. I will tell you, my cardinal rule whenever I buy a Stampin' Pad is to buy the ink refill, with the exception of when you buy your starter kit. Like I say, I want you to be able to open that box with great excitement and be successful your first day out. So I don't buy the re-inkers when I do the starter kit. However, those re-inkers should go on your first order after that. At the time of my filming, we cannot get the Memento Black ink pad, and I think that it's going to be on back order status for a little while. We're all just rolling with the punches with COVID and shipping delays. You've seen it in the grocery store, car manufacturers, just everything. So we are no exception. So what I chose was the basic gray. That is in that neutral color family. It is the darkest gray, but it's great for a lot of times to not use that Memento and to use the basic gray. A lot of times it just softens the other colors around it, and that's what I like most about it. And you might want to note that these three colors can be stamped off, and you double what colors you get. This is full strength, this is stamped off. Full strength, stamped off, full strength, stamped off. So that is something to keep in mind as well. The next thing you need is some cardstock. In the annual catalog on page 126, we actually have assortment packages. A lot of people don't even notice that in the catalog, but you get 2 sheets in each color family. So pick the cardstock pack that goes with your color family. And just like that, you're set up to be successful. Now that got us pretty close to our $125 threshold. I only had a few dollars to spend. I think it was $250 or something like that. It isn't this exact one, but on the clearance rack, there is a mat for the Stamparatus. For our photopolymer stamps, you always get a better image if you have a Stampin' Pierce mat or something of the like to stamp on. You would put your cardstock on here and stamp on it. I actually would put a piece of typing paper on here, then my cardstock, and then I would stamp on it just to keep this clean. And then here are the 2 stamp sets that I chose for free. I know a lot of demonstrators will tell you, and your first instinct will tell you, sort them from price, higher to lower, and always pick the most expensive one. Well, if that's your favorite stamp set, then that makes sense. If it doesn't, if it's not your favorite set, then don't do that. I might still suggest sorting that feature on the website and have it priced from higher to lower and go down and find the stamp sets that you love. I love florals, and I picked these colors with that in mind. So I am going to pick 2 sets that include florals. The first stamp set that I've chosen is the hand pen petals. And I like it because Both of my stamp sets today aren't real exact, but they have the images that color in these larger ones, but they're not real difficult. There's a lot of forgiveness in them. You can use these as they are. You can stamp a background. We're not putting any designer series paper in this starter kit. You can make your own. And then this also has greetings in it. I would love to see you choose a stamp set that has images and greetings in it for your first time out. The other one is the color and contour stamp set. And it is the same thing. It has these outline images, it has sentiments, and it has things that will color in these other images. Here's the card that I made with the hand pen set. I used a piece of Melon Mambo cardstock. I used the Grainy Apple Green, the Daffodil Delight. I used some of my Whisper White. I stamped my greetings. I used my Basic Gray. Maybe if I hadn't even told you that was Basic Gray, you might not have even picked up on that. Now, I didn't finish the inside of this card, but I will do that, and I can decorate that piece because I've got the white cardstock, I've got the ink. I can decorate the inside of my card. I can decorate the outside of my envelope. I can either flip this envelope over and stamp directly on the flap and decorate it, or I can take a piece of my basic white cardstock and make my own designer series paper and adhere that to the flap. Here is the card that I've made using the color and contour stamp set. I just used that basic gray and I just stamped the outlines of my flowers. I used the image that fills in and rotated my colors. Now, you will even notice that here and here, I have a little bit different of a shade because I didn't get all that red completely off of my stamp. I will admit that to you right now. But I could also do this and use first generation or second generation stamping. First generation just means you take it to the ink pad to your card front. Second generation means you take it to the ink pad, you stamp on a piece of typing paper or scrap paper, and then you stamp on your image that you want to. And then I could have a variety of colors in this designer series paper that I made myself. I stamped my greeting on some basic white cardstock. And then I also have a piece of Grainy Apple Green. And I just took my snips and I cut around this and glued it to the green and then cut it out again. The paper snips were not available at the time of filming, but I think they are also going to be back ordered for a little while. But these are going to go on that first order when they first come into stock. They are very affordable, and in fact, you should get 2 on that first order. You're going to get those ink refills and 2 pair of snips. And one is going to be for ribbon and one is going to be just general use. But I just used those and cut around that. But I figured everybody has some type of a scissor usually available to them in their home. So that's why I did not worry about adding it to the starter kit, and I couldn't have if I wanted to anyway. So look at all of these supplies that you can get. And of course, you're going to have this trimmer, these blocks, you're going to have these stamp pads and these stamp set for a very long time. These other things are consumable, but we want to use our supplies, so that's the goal. We're going to make these beautiful cards and we are going to send them to family and loved ones. Whether you decide to join my team or you have a demonstrator that you currently work with, I hope that you find this helpful to you for putting together a starter kit that is going to be successful from the very day you bring it in off your doorstep. Of course, I hope that you would consider joining my team. If you have any questions whatsoever, please email me at sally@thepolkadotlife.com. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.